All right, everyone, ready for a deep dive?
Oh, wait.
Perfect. Because today we are diving deep into something I think we can all relate to, our strengths.
I love it.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got this worksheet we're going to be using to guide us, and I'm super interested to hear your take on this because, we think about strengths. We think, oh, I'm good at math or I'm good at, playing basketball.
Right.
But this worksheet is saying, no, no, no. It's deeper than that.
Absolutely.
It's like these inherent, like, I don't know, almost like superpowers that we have.
Yeah. I think the coolest thing about this worksheet, at least starting off the gate, is the idea that our strengths are not just things we're good at, but they're actually these qualities that are so innate to us.
Yes.
That they contribute to like our overall happiness, to our success, to our well-being.
Yes.
And they can sometimes be so ingrained in who we are, we don't even recognize them as strengths.
Okay, so I'm seeing this list here, and they list out a bunch of them. Creativity, kindness, all these things. But some of these I wouldn't even think of as a strength,
Hmm.
like modesty.
Right.
Like, how is being modest a strength?
Well, I think you have to kind of think about, what is modesty at its core?
Right. What's
So
that?
modesty is this ability to not always be the center of attention, to be able to step back
Right.
and say, that person has a better idea, or I can learn from that person.
Okay.
I can kind of, step back. That is huge, especially when you're talking about teamwork, collaboration, all those things that you need in a work environment, but also in personal relationships.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. To be able to say, I don't know it all.
Exactly.
That's huge. Wow. Okay, I already feel mind blown. All right. So the worksheet's breaking it down into, like, here's how these things can play out in your relationships, in your profession, in your personal life. Let's break them down.
Okay, let's do it.
Relationships. Let's start there. I'm seeing here patience.
Yeah, patience is a big one. And I think especially in relationships, because it can be so easy to kind of like, get frustrated,
Yeah.
to want to react right away. But patience is all about, taking a step back, creating that space for understanding.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just like, gritting your teeth and bearing it.
Yeah.
It's more about like really trying to see where the other person's coming from.
Absolutely. It's about really listening, about trying to understand their perspective,
Yeah.
about maybe even, taking some time to cool down if you need to.
It's funny you say that because literally the other day I was having like this disagreement with a friend and I was like getting so frustrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did your patience come to the rescue?
I'm still working on it, I'll be honest.
We all are.
But it's so true though. Like,
Yeah.
if I had just taken a second, it probably would have gone a lot smoother. All right. So that's relationships. Let's talk about work.
Yeah.
Because, in the professional world, it's like, go, go, go. What have we got?
Well, I mean, the one that they highlight in the worksheet that I think is super relevant is love of learning.
Okay. See, to me, that one's kind of a no-brainer
Right.
because, you got to be constantly learning to stay ahead, right?
But it's more than just, keeping up with the latest trends.
Okay.
It's about having that genuine curiosity, that desire to expand your knowledge, to embrace new challenges. And I think that's what really sets people apart in their careers.
Totally. And it's like, the more you know, the more valuable you become, right?
Right.
So it's like this constant investment in yourself. Okay, there's this one part of the worksheet that I really like where it's like, it asks you to look back at your past successes
Yes. I love that part.
and like what led to those.
It's so key because so often we can get really caught up in like our to-do lists
Yeah.
or like what we're not doing well.
Totally.
But to actually take a moment and look back and be like, wait a minute, I did that and this strength of mine helped me do that is
Yeah.
so important for building your confidence.
Yeah. It's like, instead of focusing on your weaknesses, it's like, no, look what you've already achieved.
Yes, exactly.
So listeners, think about it. What is one thing that you have achieved? It could be big, it could be small, that you're really proud of.
Yeah.
And what strength got you there? What strength did you use without even realizing maybe to make that happen?
I love that you brought that up because it makes you realize that you already have these tools within you
Yes.
to create positive change. It's not like you have to go find these things. They're already there.
This has been awesome. I feel like we could talk about this for hours, but
We could.
unfortunately we don't have hours.
Right.
So as we wrap up, I do want to leave our listeners with one final thought. This whole worksheet, it's about figuring out your strengths and then figuring out how to use them even more, right?
Right.
So what is one way, one strength that you can use this week that you can focus on to bring more joy, more success, or whatever it is that you're looking for?
I love that.
Keep digging into those strengths, guys, because they're there. We'll see you at the next deep dive.